guys, good afternoon. Welcome back to my channel. So this afternoon guys, I will show you part of my task that is really very simple, but I will just show you. So actually this is a big project. I mean, it's not really a project, but a utility class library for other developers to follow or to use. So we have done before with sending email using SendGrid API. So there's already a functionality there. So like this. So all you have to do if you are part of the development team is to grab the DLL list and you can send email by just sending the API key, email subject, email content. Yeah, the parameters that will receive. So no coding anymore. It you have just to pass the required parameter and it will send the email using API or SendGrid API. That's part of the standardization module standardization that was assigned to me. Alright. So we've done that. I have some video before about that. Also the file IO, common IO. So this is basically is common. Anyway, if you are not using this library, you can just use the file system IO. So basically, this is all about reading CSV uh, from 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 data table to CSV file and reversing it uh, from CSV file to saving it to data table like that. Also the Excel, all file IO operation, even the JSON, text, XML like that. So we have that already. And what I am going to show you, aside from that, we also have library for common function. So for example, data conversion, directory, generation, sort, ADI format. We have lots of validation of email, everything. That's part of my task. So I am developing a class library for other developers to follow. Okay, so part of the task is the logger. This is the one that I'm showing you. Although guys, there are lots of logger existing open source. Usually before in my project, I am using InLog. That's a good logger. And also Microsoft provide a very good logging utility. But our company required me to create our own logger. So you can see in our email, this is a task. So I just follow. So this is what they want. So simple logger, so log file name, log path, and log pattern. It will be like this. So that's the requirement. So you just follow it. So basically, this is the logger utility that I am going to show you. So yeah, the first requirement is just to log to the file. So I have a file logger here. So basically, it's just basic. So yeah, it's just basic logging. So I have created an abstract class here, this logger. So yeah, I have a partial or halfly defined log method here. So when you create the concrete class, you have to implement this, or else you will have an error. Yeah, because you inherit the this logger and it's abstract. An abstract log, an abstract class needs to be implemented. That's the difference between the interface, because interface it's okay if you are not going to implement. I mean, you are going to inherit, but you can just not implement it exception like that. Okay, so anyway, this is a simple logger. So I have defined my this logger class because this logger will have a file logger, a database logger, and so on and so forth. So the first that my manager want is the file logger, but I also created already the database logger, and I created my program to be extendable. So what I am trying to say is that I have a factory here. So it's meant to say this factory will define what logger you will use in the calling program. So for example, I have a log2 allowed to class. So I have a dictionary of string and bislogger. This is the abstract of those new dictionary string of bislogger. So I have a static bislogger option, gate logging option. So bislogger type. So I also have the lazy loading design. So if these two a dictionary that count is zero, then that's the time that I am going to add to that add, and then I have a log type enum. If this is file, so you will use the live file logger. If you pass enum database, you will use database logger. So it will just return to option. So your calling program will just have to do like this. I have here the unit testing because this is a class library. So for example here, so I have a unities here. So for example, this is what I'm telling about. This is like a factory pattern. So this logger, I have a type, the logs, and then log equals log to get option. So if you pass database, you can see you can just say log that log. So this log is in the method of the abstract class. This one. So it could either be logging through file or it could either be logging through database. So it will be based on here. So if you have new logging utility or logging option, you just add here. Okay. So that is what I say that this logger is very extendable. So you don't have to rewrite if a new logger is come up, so you just add here, and in your calling program or the client that will use this logger, you just declare a base logger of this variable, and then you define log to get logging option. If you pass database, then when you see log, it will log to database. When you pass here file, then you see log that log, it will log to the file logger. So that's a factory pattern. The client doesn't know who will use that or what kind of logging method or logging option you will use. All you have to do is just to call the log function, and it could be either file logger or database logger. So that's what I'm trying to explain here, a factory pattern of logging. Well, of course, for example, in my database logger here class, I have not implemented it yet. So actually, my manager does not require this part yet, but I am my code is getting ready already. So if he needs that, Edwin, we need to have a database logger as well. So I just implement from here. But the calling program is already done. Okay, I mean the structure. Okay, so what is he wants for now is the file logger, simple file logger. So, and this logger, guys, should also have a configurable configuration. So that is why this is the file logger class. So it's inherit this logger. So the this logger has only one signature. This is the log. So that is why, as you can see here, we implement this log. So it has method and message. Okay. Of course, the date it will be part of the logger, but it's by constant. We can just use date now like that. So, but this logger, guys, will read an configuration from XML. So that is why here I have defined an XML here. So where's my XML? Are you hiding? This is the simple XML. Okay. So I just the requirement is that log path should be defined, log file name should be defined, log date format should be defined, and log record format should be defined in a configurable option. So what I did, I created this XML, and this XML should be loaded in the directory path of the program that will use this DLL logger. So if there are also validation, the default, for example, there is no log file path here, just empty, or a log file name like this is empty, it will create a logger by default. But if there's no XML configuration, it will return that it cannot create an logger because has missing configuration file. So that is what we are trying to do here. So as you can see in my file logger, because the database is not being implemented yet, but it's already ready. So here I have to get the XML configuration. So this method I put it in helper because I may need that in the database logger implementation as well. So I don't have to retype that code again and again, right? So I put it in the helper. So here in the helper, this is the to get a current method name because the log will have a method current method name where you put that log. So this is the command or the code. Just return the method name. If you put a logger, for example, inside here at the this one, if you put a log here, the method name will be returned is this one. This is the method name. Okay, if you have that, you just create or get the current method name that is being called. Okay, so here, for example, in our file logger, no, this is the file logger, guys. So git XML, so I will have to go there. So what it's trying to do here is just, of course, you have to get the XML config directory. So as I said, it will be in the current directory. So for example, you use this logger in your console program in C the test like that. So you should have to put the XML as well in that directory. So if that does not exist, then it will throw an exemption that that file cannot be found in the application directory. Therefore, the logger cannot proceed. So that's the one scenario. And then if the existing file or XML is present, so basically I just reading the XML file, this one. So this is our format or this is our template. So I'm just reading it. All right. So how we read it? So we are just using the XML document and we load it, the XML file, and now we are just reading root and getting the attribute. For example, the log path, you just have to say root that get attribute, then this is the attribute name, log path. Okay, to get the value of that, you just have to get the inner XML. So it's very simple, just like that. Although there are lots of ways to read an XML, and it will also depend on the XML structure because this one is just in the root and I'm just putting the attribute name here with the value. So that is why we are just using also this one. We're just getting the root and getting the attribute and returning the inner XML, which is that is the value. Okay, so that is how I am getting. Oh, that's the very simple. Okay, so another one here is after you get the XML configuration, right? Because we have out parameter here, which means to say what the value that we get from that get XML config data is returned here. So log file, this is out reference, so it will be returned here. So that is why the log file here, okay? So it could be helper get log file, it's the default file name, passing the log file name, and XML directory. So when you, this is also an helper, again, for us to reuse it in another type of logger, like for example, in the database, if we need it, okay? So this is the log file, so it's very simple. It will return the log file and the file path, okay? So I just have to validate it if log path is string null or empty. If it's not, then it will use the default log file and log file name. So basically, that's the simple one. And then also here in our other one, log time format. So basically, we just also get the log time format. So by default, it's that log format is not provided in our DSP logger examine here. Oh, we have to use this default, this formatting. Else, you have to follow the formatting that is defined in your XML. All right. So that's basically like that. And then the log message, log pattern. I am not using here pattern matching. It seems like that I'm just using here. This is not a good implementation, but anyway, I have just have three method to format. So if else only. So I'm just trying to, for example, when the log format is date, then message, then method, or they define in the XML that they want date, method, or message. So this is what I read, and just I have just if else if here in the helper. Okay, this is not a good, but that's will work for the requirements. Anyway, I'm trying to improve this in the next time by using pattern matching light expression. But yeah, I just want to finish it, so I just did like this. Okay, so it will return what formatting you want. If no, then we return the default one, which will be the date, time, and separator. Of course, if they define separator like that, so our log file will have a separator like that. So as you can see, an example of our log file here, this one, logger.log. So that will be the date, then this is the method, then the message, what is the logging, the log. If they put separator like that, so that will be the separator date, separator the method, separator the message like that. So that is the log that we're trying to achieve. Okay, so that's it's just like that, guys. So very simple logger. Okay. So in your file logger here, after you are getting that information, you just use to stream writer, then the log file, and it will go through. It means to say the next time there's a log, it will just append. So writer that write async log message, then if you plus it, it's clear all the buffers to the current writer. Okay. So that's our logger, very simple. Okay, so if we have a database logger now, if we want to implement the database logger, so all we have to do is implement the method here and our calling program. Like for example, here in our this logger, you have just to do like this. You define the base logger. This is the variable. The variable because this is the factory class that I created. Okay, so it have a dictionary of string and base logger. The name is two, and get logging option. It will pass the option, and it will select what logging type you will use. Okay, so without knowing, the client doesn't know if he log to database or log to log file. He just called the method log. So it doesn't know. So this is the one who will determine. Okay, log name is in database. If you log like file name, file, then it will log to file. Okay. If you want to have another log, you just append this or add in the factory factory folder. This one, I mean the log enum type. You just pass another one here. For example, Excel. Oh, that is also for SMS. You send SMS. And then, of course, you have to implement SMS. How you implement the logging and the SMS, it will send directly to the mobile number like that. And then in your calling program, you just have to select, yeah, what's the logger I lost? That is logger, this one. Okay, so you just have to select, like, for example, log in now, and then you select, oh, there's a, where's the SMS? Okay, like that. So this will log or send to his SMS. So definitely you can just have to see log. So it will either log to file, log to database, or like to SMS based on this option. All right, so that is how it works. So we try to debug as you can see here. Just select file, and then of course we have to run this through our this explorer, so we can debug. So the name of that, we just run the should log file default uploader file name. So where's our logger here? We apply the should log default. I think this is the number two. Let's try to debug it. So it's not. It should be here. Let's try again. Oh, I cannot see the full name here. Or I can select here and debug this. Right? So let's debug the function. Okay, as you can see guys. So what happened? So we go there. So we go there. Extension. So what's the extension? Should log file. Okay, I think I need to uh, build this first. And we built and we will replace the referencer. We get the new remove first so the new will be updated. Add reference. So where's the logger? Mm, one and this is the thing. This one. I have to use that. Alright, so we'll go to the unities. Should unities this one. So this one guys should log to file. So as you can see here, what is being passed is file. So it will return uh, okay. So when you go to the log, it is going to first this is the helper. But as you can see here, he is using the file logger. Yeah, this is the file logger. So we didn't specify it by just by just passing this file log. So when you say log that log, it will go to the file logger. Okay. So if we try here, if we go database, so it's meant to say we are going to log to the database. So let's run. And our database implementation is not done yet, so we can see it. All right. So log to and this part. All right. So this is database logger, and the implementation will comes from here. Okay. So you can see that guys, you are not directly instantiating the log type. You just use this command. This is a factory pattern. The client doesn't know what the implementation is using, right? So that is abstraction. I mean, polymorphism and object-oriented print OOP design principle. Okay, so Many forms can act depending on what, like that. So this part, it can act as a file logger, or it can act as a database logger, or it can act what type of logger you are using. But you are just using one method named log based on your this one, right? So it's only one method, but it could be the file logger implementation, database logger, SMS implementation, or whatever you want to have. So basically, we are reducing code because you are just going to touch one factory pattern class, and that's all. Nothing is being done in the calling program. So the tendency is there your program will not be easily break. Okay, so that's for now, guys. This is our simple task about logging, and also we are discussing about factory pattern here. So subscribe and hit the bell button so you will be notified with the upcoming video. So happy learning, guys, and see you in the next video. Bye bye.